Coercive control isn't just one tactic. It's often a number of tactics that someone who uses violence will use to control their partner or someone that they love. There are lots of really subtle ways that someone might exercise coercive control. It's often those really less obvious forms of violence. So it might be controlling where someone goes, what they wear, who they talk to. It might be controlling finances, but it's often all of these different tactics that actually give the person using violence control over the victim survivor. And sometimes they will frame that control as though they're trying to help you. So they might say things like, let me take care of the immigration process because I know that English isn't your first language and it can be really complicated. Where that can be difficult is when then the person using violence won't share the information about what's happened in that immigration process, or they might keep someone's passport. If someone needs it, they can't access it without the person using violence giving them permission. And they might be saying things to someone like, I can send you back anytime I want. So it's when it creates that uncertainty and you feel unsafe, or if you feel like you might be fearful that there'll be consequences if you don't do what the person using violence says or asks you to do. Sometimes it's the fact that they're isolated from their community. The partner won't let them forge friendships outside of the home or outside of perhaps his friendship group, won't support her to go to TAFE and do an English course or even find work that they're comfortable doing. That isolation, that manipulation of things so that you're totally dependent on that person for almost everything, that combination I think is one of the ways that you can tell that things are clearly different. Cairns Regional Domestic Violence Service, we're one of many DV services across Queensland, but services like ours, we're here to help try and make you as safe as possible. We're not in the business of telling people that they have to leave. We're very much about how might we make you a little bit safer today. So there can be some really strong barriers to seeking help when someone is from a culturally and linguistically diverse background. Sometimes it can be really difficult to know that services even exist that could provide support. The language barrier can feel overwhelming as well, but if you're from a culturally and linguistically diverse background, services like mine will do their best to get a translator or interpreter, whether it's by phone or in person, and often that's at the preference of the person that we're supporting. Sometimes things like shame will stop people from accessing a service like ours. They don't necessarily want to talk about something that's so private. So I think often we have a perception that domestic and family violence is a private matter. It's a family matter, so we don't talk about it outside of this. And it's really important that we do start talking about it outside of the home, and we start to have really good conversations about the fact that it's not okay to control your partner. It's not okay to be physically or sexually violent or financially controlling or emotionally abusive to someone that you love. I think also people get scared around services like mine, where they think that they might get deported. They think that we might immediately report to police or child safety. If we feel like we do need to do that though, we're going to have a conversation with the person who's come in to see us about that before we do anything. So we're always thinking about someone's safety and putting that first. It's really important for people who are experiencing domestic and family violence to know that it's not their fault. They haven't done anything to make it happen, and it's not their responsibility to make it stop. But please know that there are services, there is support, and there can be a lot of barriers, but we will do our best to actually help people overcome those.